So BTC just pinged the 62K level. It's amazing what 24 hours can happen, or what happens in 24 hours in this crypto space. There's never a dull moment. We're not going to lie about that one. So we got a lot to talk about here today, guys. Bitcoin is firing. Was that the bottom? Is that, well, for at least the short term, was that the bottom? I got a couple of indicators for you guys that might show us that we are due for a nice big move here on BTC, and obviously on these altcoins, which have actually held so well in the last 24 hours, considering what they were doing to Bitcoin last night. So we got so much to cover here. Some of the trades that I have set up here, I've got RUNE, I've got Solana, I've got Injective, I've got ETH plays, I've got PEPE. I even have a whiff situation happening right now. So there's so much to talk about. Let's get right into this. And remember, if you're enjoying the content, hit the like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. And if you're wondering where I've been hanging out on the main channel. Uncle is away, so I'm back on Banter Plus today, but I'm on main channel tomorrow again, so you can catch me over there. And then a special wish to George, the man behind a lot of the show here. He sets up a lot of the shows. It's his 64th birthday today, so we better get some likes in there for George as well. Happy birthday to the legend. Let's get into Banter Bubbles, and I actually should have brought some sunglasses here, and those that hate memes, well, I've got news for you. Look at PEPE, 19%, Floki 11.8, Bonk 16. Ray, are you trading memes yet, bro? Worth 18%, Brett 25%. Guys, you got to get trading these meme coins. I've said it time and time again. When the market responds, what is the biggest plays? And for me, one of my favorites is always got to be a PEPE long. Every time we've had weakness, this PEPE has come and performed for us. So not to take any shade away from things like Arweave making a little bit of a comeback here. So that is nice to see. And Bitcoin relatively flat if you're looking at the Banter Bubble situation. So yesterday was very interesting for me. And we saw these altcoins really fighting. We had dominance dumping so hard, BTC basically sending us to hell, but these alts were just hanging on there. And it was a wild few hours yesterday while we were trying to figure out where that low was going to be for BTC. So let's just take a look where we are now and the current situation that we find ourselves in. So yesterday I had a crack on the 786. I bought the 786 dip, and I thought I was very smart. We had a nice big move there, and as I jumped into my car, it started reversing again and basically sent us into a little bit of a squeaky bum situation there where we had these dips. And you know, it wasn't a great couple of hours for me there watching BTC dip lower, but the bulls did finally step in. They started front running the 200-day MA, and they pushed us back and sent us back to bull town. So it's nice that things are working out there at the moment for BTC. So what am I watching now, and what is my current plan? So what we do know is there's going to be a lot of late longers at the moment. So for me, you know, something realistic would be some kind of retest on decent support here, but ideally we want that support to remain bullish. So what I want to do here is just pull a fib from the low to the high. I just want to look at some bullish levels here, and two areas of interest for me. Notable, number one, and we've had a little bit of a push down, but we didn't quite ping this one. So 6,650, that's got to be area number one that you're watching today. And then the big one has to be the 786 and the 618 combination here at 59,850. So this is my big zone.
Asking for the bullhorn, man. We need the bullhorn. Bullhorn.
Well, guys, I mean, I did wear the bull hat, and let's get this bull hat. The last two times that I wore the bull hat, I actually sent us to zero. So let's see how it goes. I mean, bull hat on, third time lucky. Maybe we are going to hold this thing and see what we go where we're going to end up. So number one, just a reminder, we want to retest. If we are going to retest, I don't want to retest much lower than this 59,850 to stay super bullish. That is the 618 retest, and that falls in nicely to this 786 area as well. So loving that area at the moment for any more downside. And then if we are going to send this one higher, let's just pay attention to the 618. We had a reaction here previously. This is 62,476, the 618 currently. So let's look out there for a little bit of a reaction here. And at the same time, if we do reject in this area, just make sure you've got your eyes on dominance. You want to see that this dominance is playing its game and making sure that your alts are behaving themselves, especially after the current break that we have just seen. On some of them. And Juicy BBC says we consolidate through July, August, IMO. Yes, very possible. So I'm going to pull out this daily chart for you guys. And look, a small pump doesn't basically mean, we back to the moon here. And we do need to start having some kind of discipline. So I'm going to give you some interesting targets and levels here for BTC as well today that we can play around, and obviously on top of these altcoins. So this is my current situation here and on Prime XBT, and you can see I've just grabbed this BTC little retest, looking okay now at the moment, and you can see I'm sitting in a phantom position as well. That was just looking way too good, to ignore. So phantom looks like it's blowing through the 200-day MA. I've got that chart ready for you guys, and we're going to be looking at that one in detail, because I think there is a big phantom move coming here if we can hold that 200-day MA. So this is my Prime XBT situation. If you want to trade Prime XBT with me, you know what to do. There's a link in the description there and under the show doc, and get stuck into that. Right now, you might have noticed a little trigger, and this might have been one of the triggers here that started firing up the market. We saw 𝗟𝗢𝗏𝗡𝗏 basically dropped this tweet saying VanEck just filed the 8A form for spot ETF. And that's part of the process. Okay, that's fine. It's just admin. And he said should be noted that they filed their 8A for spot Bitcoin exactly 7 days before launch. So he's saying this is a good sign that we are on track for our July 2nd. Is the ETH trade finally going to be on? The ETH bro trade that we've been waiting for, is it finally going to happen here? Is ETH going to send us to Valhalla? Is it going to redeem all this negativity and all these things over the last couple of weeks? And then the Germans. I mean, come on, Olaf. I think it's Olaf. He's the prime minister. He's still dumping his bags, and he's just not getting it. And he's clearly not following. Not following my Twitter account at the moment. So German government sold 900 BTC today, June 25th, $54 million. Why are they selling their bags? I mean, we can't understand it. And last night when I was watching BTC dip, I actually pulled out this tweet, and I kept on, whenever I felt like I was getting rinsed on BTC, I kept looking at 𝗟𝗟 just to confirm. And he basically kept me stable last night while we watched BTC dip and try and send us to hell. I see Glenn says the retest is crucial. Glenn, 1000%. If we can retest that 59,850 and hold, then I think we're going to send it. And something interesting here, Mr. 100, he's a big whale. And this is his first BTC buy since May the 19th. And I see here he's bought $4 million worth of BTC at 60,300. So maybe for him, the bottom is in. He liked that little juicy zone there on BTC. So things looking good from that front. And then there was some interesting news floating around. Now, these are just rumors. They're unconfirmed, but I've seen Rodolfo and 𝗦𝗘𝗧𝗏 both tweeting about this at the moment, this Mt. Gox situation. And there's a bit of controversy around the actual repayment here. And there's some people saying these creditors are only going to get $483 per BTC. Now, that will be interesting. But the question is, what happens to that other money then? If they're not getting their BTC redeemed at current market prices and they're only getting $483 per Bitcoin, what is happening to those other funds? So that is going to be interesting to watch this play out. Here's 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏 commenting on this exact situation as well. He says, under Japanese law, aka like FTX, Mt. Gox creditors will get $483 per Bitcoin. And the 9 billion becomes 72 million paid to customers. What happens to the remaining funds? What happens? Do they hold it? What's the story? So let's see how this thing unfolds. There's lots of mixed reports coming around. So, this is unconfirmed here at the moment, but these rumors are floating around, something to note. And then our liquidation heat map. Now, I wanted to show you two liquidation maps here. The first one is the 30-day, and this is looking very civilized for the bulls. And you can see the shorts are way outweighing the longs at the moment. And looks like if you use just this chart as a guide, it looks like a nice free ride here up to about 70K, 71K. And it makes sense here to send this thing higher, especially, if you were a market maker and you're looking for some fun. For me, it would be sending it higher. But look at this. If we look at BTC on the 1 day, welcome. The apes are back immediately. Maybe I'm part of that statistic. I'm sure Ray is also part of that statistic at the moment. But as you can see, the longs are immediately on the 1 day now outweighing the shorts. So what does that tell us? It tells us that there could easily be some kind of little flush and just some kind of retest here. So I don't want to take a retest off the table. That's why it's critical here that we watch our alt levels. We watch our 382s on our alts, our 618 pullbacks. We watch dominance. And if we get a pullback, we watch those key levels that I've given you, and we keep things measured and calculated here, and we don't panic. But based on the daily liquidation situation, it looks like a possibility. A move down to 58,600, even 59 would take us to this region roughly here, and that looks like a nice little cluster to come and clean out, and that would make Glenn Goldberg's retest crucial, and that little level there would be a good number for us. So we're keeping our eyes on that one. And then the S&P. So a little bit of a mixed bag from the S&P, but no real changes. It's a relatively boring chart compared to BTC and the crypto things at the moment. So not much activity on the S&P, you know, FUD and good things at the moment, just keeping it relatively flat for the last couple of days. So not much to report here at the moment. And right, before I get into some of the action, where are my people and what is going on here? Let's see. Ferdy says, I hope Germany is not going to dump on us again. Well, they dumped on us already today, and it seems to have been bought up. So let's see. Maybe sentiment is going to change a little bit. 𝗬𝗢𝗍𝗓 says, I love the show. Appreciate that. Don't forget, hit that like button.
Like
you know
Michael
the drill.
Jackson, just beat it.
So you know the drill. You know the drill. And 𝗬𝗢𝗍𝗓 says, what actually happens to the money? Yeah, that's an interesting one. So somebody's either going to hold those BTC from Mt. Gox, or they're going to start selling it. So that is something that we need to know. Matic says D's nuts coin, and I wonder if that is a pumper. What else we got here? Let's see. Pickle says rocket. And guys, who took that RUNE trade? I see RUNE has broken trend. It's looking quite good, and I'm going to cover that one for you. And let's see what else we got. Pickles in the chats as well. George Gilbert is here. Missed the entries, too late for leverage trades. George, you never know. We might get a retest for you today. I'm going to give you some areas where you can potentially get some buyers. So let's not FOMO here unnecessarily. Let's play measured and calculated games. Okay, just a reminder for those of you that haven't heard this news yet, Gummy is now launching Baked. This is the next big meme token, and it's taking place via an airdrop, and there's only 2 ways that you can get the new Baked airdrop. Now, Gummy, there were multiple ways to get the Gummy airdrop. Now they've limited this because they really want some proper baked action for you guys. There's 2 ways. Number 1, memestaking.com. You can grab your baked airdrop over there. Number 2, log into the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 trading link in the show description. All you need to be doing is actually trading on 𝗏𝗏𝗏. So make a little deposit there, trade a little bit on 𝗏𝗏𝗏. While you're trading on 𝗏𝗏𝗏, you will be farming free baked airdrops. Very simple way to get it, and it's coming very, very soon. So time is limited. Obviously, it's not going to be around forever. So make sure, memestaking.com, 𝗏𝗏𝗏. There's a link in the description there for you guys, and get cracking on that one. Okay, here's the big news. Before we get into these indicators that might tell us things are potentially moving higher, let's just relook at BTC on the daily. Always nice to get a general bigger perspective as to things. You know, sometimes we can get tied up on 15-minute candles here. We can get a little bit overly bullish when perhaps we shouldn't be. And right now you can see this is just a routine bounce off major support. What I'm loving here on the daily is the way the 786 got reclaimed. Look at that. They sent it down, but they jumped right back up and they reclaimed that 786. A nice little horizontal support here on the daily here for us. And all round looking pretty good. So same support here as I showed you on the 4-hour, 59,850. Great little region here. Nothing unreasonable with a little move back into the zone. Nothing unreasonable, but it's unreasonable if you're trading with way too much leverage, and you're going to get yourself rinsed. So just be very careful here. If we do get this pullback, obviously, naturally, these alts are going to have some kind of quick pullback as well. So this is my bull play at the moment on the daily. If we can hold this region here, then we should be okay. And then the next fight is going to be when we get to this trend. You can see this is a massive daily downtrend. This has been in play since 7th of June, and big downtrend. You know, it's going to be a tricky one to fight. And when we ping there, you know, we might get a fake out. Lots of things could happen. So just remember, we stay calm and measured here every time, and let's not get too euphoric until we really start breaking some big trends and things like that on BTC. And then lower down, let's not forget 57,600, the 200-day moving average. That is another notable marker for us and hasn't been tested yet. Hasn't been tested in a very long time. Mark that on your charts just in case. But today we're going to be green. We're not going to get deep and dark today. Today we're going to enjoy the moment, and we're going to remember Banter Bubbles is green, and we're gonna just enjoy that. You know. It was a stressful day yesterday, guys. Yesterday was stressful. These altcoins held, but BTC, I was sweating bullets yesterday. I was telling you, BTC put us under pressure there on that push down past that 786. Okay, let's look at some of these indicators that I have for you guys. So number 1, Tony the Bull Severino says the daily RSI is oversold, as same as level as the FTX collapse. Now remember, I talk about this RSI on the daily, the 8-hour. I talk about it all the time for you guys because because it's a lovely indicator that tells you when things are getting tired, at least. They don't always tell you exactly when the pump is going to come, but they tell you when things are getting exhausted, when sellers are getting exhausted, or when the bulls are getting exhausted. And this was a great example that we have now hit FTX levels. So let's just zoom out and take a look at what he is talking about. So I've highlighted this RSI here for you at these lows, and you can see the FTX situation was, when was this? This is way back. This was in November 2022. And you can see I've highlighted here at the bottom, this yellow circle here is exactly the same level where we were sitting yesterday afternoon on BTC on that daily. So here it is here at the bottom, and we've hit some really extreme lows here. And notable that when we do hit areas like that, we do tend to get some kind of move in the northerly direction. Okay, so we do have some kind of result out of that, and this could be no different. I don't see any reason why this RSI won't churn higher, and it just depends how high BTC can go, because obviously this RSI can churn higher and BTC doesn't necessarily have to go that high. You saw that previous that first FTX example, it actually just hovered flat for a couple of days there and didn't do much. So just interesting. That is an indicator that we are potentially tired of selling for now. So let's see how that is going to play out. And then I've got another banger for you guys. Where's my special? Where's this thing? Oh, here it is. We've got Ali Charts. He's talking about the TD sequential. And he's got a signal on his charts here, giving us a buy signal on the daily chart. He's predicting a rebound of 1 to 4 daily candlesticks. Now that sounds more than reasonable. If we're looking at that BTC chart on the daily, nothing wrong with 4 daily positive candlesticks. I think we are due some kind of bounce, and again, that could easily just take us straight up to this trend. So let's see. That could be 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 days, and that could take us to this trend region somewhere at the 63,300 level, somewhere in that area. Could be very interesting for us. So that's a nice little banger there from Ali Charts. And then the number one indicator that a bottom might be in, and it has to be this. The fear and greed indicator on BTC has finally hit 30. Now remember, we were going through times when alts were bleeding out. We were minus 50% down, minus 60% down. BTC was hovering around in this range, 64, 68, doing these types of things. And we were joking that this fear and greed index was maybe broken because it was sitting at 60, it was sitting at 70, and it just wasn't coming down while we were feeling so much pain in these altcoins. But finally, this thing has delivered, and BTC fear and greed hit 30 today. Now that is one of the lowest levels we've seen in an incredibly long time, and that could be a sign for us. Remember, looking to buy the fear, that could be a real sign for us that things are about to potentially start moving up. So there's a couple of things looking a little bit interesting here for us, and we're going to monitor this. We're going to play it carefully. We're going to watch our levels, and we just stick around, watch the show. I'll keep you guys informed. Now, before I get into some of the other tokens, I wanted to remind you guys this political narrative could be coming back, and I posted this tweet today about 𝗏𝗏. We have finally got a 60% move on 𝗏𝗏 in 24 hours after it hit major support. So I thought that was worthy of a tweet today. So, some of our other political tokens that I've shown you in the last couple of days, 𝗏𝗏 was one of them. But another banger here was Boden. And Boden, I gave you guys on the support level as well. And here's Boden breaking trend. So definitely looking a little bit more interesting here. And never mind DTI as well and MAGA. These are other political tokens that could be moving. So nice to see 𝗏𝗏 bouncing on good support. We've got Boden bouncing on good support. We got MAGA that bounced off good support, and DTI a couple of days ago started bouncing. So things are looking interesting here on the political front. And remember, you can trade ETH memes now using Starbot. Okay, so Sol traders, you using Bonkbot, you're using Photon, all these other things. We now have Starbot where you can trade ETH memes the exact same way on Telegram using Starbot. There's a link in the description. Join the Starbot rally. It's called the Rect Rally, and trading there, they're giving away $20,000 in prizes. All you need to do if you are trading ETH memes is just trade them on Starbot, and you can participate in those prizes there. So take a look. There is a link for you guys in the description there. Okay, now let's get into a slightly bearish thing on the altcoins here. We got 𝗏𝗏𝗜𝗏, and he's basically reminding us that dominance is still holding support above the bull market support band. Now that is interesting. So he's basically telling us dominance wants to bounce in this region. Now remember, we don't really want to see dominance bouncing, especially if Bitcoin is going down. We want dominance to be really dropping for us, for the altcoin traders and things like that. So he's just posted something here saying, hang on, dominance here on the weekly time time frame looking like it could potentially bounce. So that is something that we need to keep our eyes on. But for me, I've been tracking dominance on the 12-hour for the last few weeks, and this is all I need right now for my day-to-day trades, or my weekly setups and those type of things. This is all we really need at the moment. So dominance for me on the 12-hour, I've highlighted two areas for you. So number one, we saw this beautiful move last night while dominance was dumping, BTC was dumping, but this dominance was helping all of our altcoins, and you saw that they held these levels and BTC basically shat the bed and just carried on dropping, and these altcoins were holding for us. But that was dominance that saved us. And now, no issue here with a dominance push higher, but you can see I've highlighted a rejection area here for dominance for you. This is rejection zone number one. This unleashes the alts again, a nice little rejection in this zone, or alternatively, a nice little rejection in this zone here at 55% for dominance. That should give the alts a little bit more energy as well. So keep your eyes on dominance. Any rejection zones, these are good zones for alts. These are the ones where we look and we watch our altcoins, we make sure they're on good areas, and that often gives us potential altcoin moves there. So watching dominance for rejections here, but a beautiful move yesterday really did help things. And let's see what else we got. Thomas says, why bother with anything other than memes? Seriously, I'm asking. Well, it depends what you're after. If you're in it for the tech, you buy ADA. Okay. If you're in it for the community, you buy XRP. I mean, fuck. But if you're in it for profits, I mean, you can keep it simple. You don't have to be trading memes on Sol and those degen type memes. You can be trading PEPE, you can be trading WIF, you can be trading Bonk and all those things. We know factually these things bounce the best after weakness in the market. So even if you hate memes, get a couple on your charts, get a couple on your watch list, and they're always nice recovery plays. And until they're not good recovery plays, I'm going to keep trading them. At some point, they will stop being recovery plays. But until then,
nice pitch there. Nice pitch.
Bro. Okay, anyway, right, so let's get into ETH and ETH things. Okay, so Darn Crypto Trades just highlighting ETH BTC. Now, I've been talking about this one for stacks of time. Vital says ADA, he went there. So ETH BTC looking good, and it's now cropping up on Twitter. The guys are all talking about ETH versus BTC again. It's getting the right attention, and I've got Fernando telling us alt season is not over. Buy the fucking dip, he says. And he's given us a nice little 2-weekly chart on the total versus BTC. Now, he's shown us previously what happened here. We had this descending wedge, and we had a nice little pop. And we've got a little descending wedge again on total 3. What is total 3? Total 3 is all the altcoins excluding BTC and Ethereum. And he's basically saying if history rhymes or repeats, we should get some kind of pop here off this descending wedge. So that is some bullish source there for you guys. But the big one for me, and this is, it's one of the alt leaders, and this is ETH versus BTC on the weekly. And we've been tracking the support. This has been 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks sitting on this major support. I bring this thing up every single day, and I was talking about ETH BTC back here, and we were looking for these massive explosions. Is this time different? Is this the one? Is this the moment we've been waiting for? If we've got an ETF coming, I don't know what else we need to send ETH higher. So here's ETH versus BTC. Considering what has happened with BTC, this thing is held incredibly well, and maybe we are finally going to get our trend break on the weekly. A trend break on the weekly is a massive situation, and that retest is even bigger, and the apes are going to come in. When we start breaking this weekly trend, there is going to be some spice for ETH, and I want to make sure that I'm absolutely ready and prepared for that type of move. So here is ETH on the 12-hour. This is ETH USD, and you can see what happened. Look at the 618 coming into play here for us. It was a thing of absolute beauty, and dipped into that 618, and look at the size of that reaction. And like I've said before, with trading, there's tons of things you can use. There's a million indicators, all these types of things. But sometimes you just keep it simple. The simple things can often win the race for you. And something as simple as a big 618 pull on ETH that gave us a nice little area, it gave us a nice little target. This was the 3250 level that I've been watching for ETH. Look how they danced around this 618. They teased us a little bit, but then they sent this thing straight up. So what I'm watching now for Ethereum, well, number one, we've got our support marker, 3,250. I do not want to go back there. I really do not want to go back to that dark place. The next place that I like 3,350. This is an area of support. If we do get a pullback, 3,350, that for me is going to be a bullish retest buy. So let's say BTC pulls back. We want to watch ETH versus BTC. We want to make sure that is showing strength. Then we get BTC pulling back 59,850. Maybe we're going to get ETH 3,350. So watching 3,350 on ETH for any pullbacks. And notable for me right now, we have just smashed the 100-day moving average. So things are definitely looking better on an ETH front. And this 100-day MA, 3,380, mark this one on your charts. You can actually use this as a nice little support guide for you guys. And just put a little box around that. You can see we've rejected on it once already. I'm just zooming in here, and you can see this little rejection here on the 100-day MA rejection. Now we've reclaimed it. So could be another little retest zone here for us, 3,390, the 100-day MA. So scalpers, there's a 3,390 for you. Then we've got the 3,350, and the spot traders, all you need to worry about, 3,250. That's where it's at for ETH. If we're going to move now, we've got 7 days to run into this ETF news. Is it time? Is the ETH trade finally going to happen for us? And you can see I took an ETH trade yesterday just off that 618. My entry here is 3,285. I grabbed an ETH long on ZoomX, and you can see obviously I would never leave PEPE without a little bit of attention. And there goes PEPE as well. And so I'm running on ZoomX, PEPE and ETH. My ETH position, $26,000. PEPE is 7.5K. Let's see, a little retest on PEPE might initiate another buy here for me. So we're going to see how that plays out. Guys, ZoomX as well. Remember, I spoke about them yesterday as well. They're offering you $10 just to sign up for ZoomX. It's as simple as that. Then you take a couple of trades and they're going to give you $20 as well. So take a look, click the ZoomX link in the description. It's very simple. It's limited to the first 200 users. There were a ton of signups yesterday as well. So that is getting more and more limited. So sign up to ZoomX. They're giving you $10 to take part and start trading on their exchange. And that is that situation. So the next one that we have to talk about, and I'm glad Banter Bubbles was so green with all these meme coins. I love this tweet from 3x Liquidated. Everybody dancing on the grave of memes the last few weeks. Remember that happened. Everyone said the memes were dead, and they said Sol was dead because of the memes. So he says, gonna hold PEPE and outperform ETH. And then he's put inverted commas here. No, how can you hold a meme instead of internet computer ultrasound money native yield ETF coin? It makes no sense. He says, try being a profit maxi. Looking forward to cope. Now remember, you guys were saying that in the chats. And Thomas, very good point. Why not just trade these memes? And, this is a vital point here, that these memes are really pumping. And let's go. Where the action is, let's go. Where the bees are. And we know they love buying these things. So Kush says, is it still worth longing PEPE? Well, here's your setup, Kush. And right now, I did drop in Sniper Club in the chats today, just probably about an hour and a half ago in Sniper Club. I dropped this chart. I said, guys, I'm looking for a move here on PEPE. Why is this interesting? We are busy breaking the 50-day moving average. So it's a very simple setup here for PEPE traders. You've got a massive support marker now. We've got the 50-day MA at 0.0012. Okay, that's your big support level. We've got the 50-day MA tied in with these horizontals as well. So this is a support marker for us, and this is that potential retest buy that I was telling you guys about. Let's see where the top is of this move. If we can figure out where that top is. So let's say this thing pumps a little bit more. Let's actually make the assumption that that was the top of the move. What you want to do is start looking for your pullback zones, your pullback areas. And what I would suggest on this current situation, let's pull out a 236. And we can use these fibs. Now, remember, the 236 is the most bullish fib that you can get. That, if something's super bullish, you often just get a little trigger off a 236. So here's your 236 that you're looking at now. If we do get this dip down from here, that's a potential buy trigger there on PEPE just to reload or maybe add to some of that position. So I would watch that multiple zeros, 1, 2. That is your main support you're going to watch. And then lower down, if we do get a little bit heavier, we can't ignore the fact that we've got a 382 and we've got horizontals. Look at these horizontals here. Nice little area here. Multiple zeros, 118. So both of these are my bull areas for PEPE. If we hold these areas, these are zones where you can get your buys in. These are areas where we can start sending PEPE a little bit higher. If we lose that 382, then things start looking dark again, and our last gasp is going to be that 618. Is that 618 going to be BTC retesting and taking out all the late longers? So keep these on your mark, keep these on your charts, mark this. You can see PEPE is a performer. Next retest on BTC, no doubt I'm going to be looking for a PEPE entry. So watch out. If BTC starts retesting, watch your areas. Number one, multiple zeros, 1, 2. Number 2, multiple zeros, 1, 1, 8. And then the last one for me, the 618, multiple zeros, 111. These are your zones that you're looking at buys. These are your zones that you're looking at adding to some of your positions if you are already long on PEPE. Okay, another one for me is ETH play Lido. We've seen so much strength on Lido of late, and while BTC was dumping, Lido was absolutely actually chilling. It was actually in a good state while all this drama was going on, and it was one of the fastest recovery moves as well. So Lido on the 12-hour also looking quite interesting to me, and you can see what's going on here. We've got a nice little retest for Lido currently on the 382, so things are looking quite good here. We've broken trend, so that looks decent as well. So area number 1 for me for Lido, 2.3. Okay, you can see we're reacting at the moment on this 382. Do we get that bounce now? We've seen a lot of these altcoins react on a 382 today as well. We've seen a lot of them fire off those levels, so we're watching for Lido 2.3. Then I've got the 100-day MA slap bang in the middle here. This is interesting, 2.24. And let me show you, this ties in with a 0.5 fib as well. So I'm just going to highlight the 0.5. So we've got a nice middle region here, and we've got some horizontals as well. So 2.24. Nice little area, but then the big one you want to be watching for Lido. This is the big dude, 618. That's got to be 2.17. So for me, if we remain bullish, any retest for BTC, buys for Lido down to 2.18. 2.18, that's solid there for me, and we got to pay attention to that zone. We've seen, look at these candles on Lido, look how this thing pumps after a little pullback. So watch your big zones and look out. That 618 could be a nice juicy little trade there for you guys. Goon Squad Slayer says, what about OP? Now, OP was a great buy yesterday. Bruce gave us an OP setup yesterday, so hopefully some of you guys grabbed that one. It was almost a double bottom there on Optimism, so watch those lows from yesterday. Let's see if that is going to play out. But OP, so far, so good. I am also long OP from yesterday, and that is looking, it's looking okay. Who is shouting false breakout here? What are we breaking out false on? Lost, let us know. What are you trading? Is it a false breakout on BTC? Let us know your thoughts here, and just drop it in the chats there. We're keen to hear. Okay, another big one is Phantom. So you saw I was sitting in this Prime XBT Phantom position here, and look, things are going relatively well at the moment. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to raise my stop here live quickly for you guys, and I'm just going to put it under that breakout candle. Okay, I'm just going to adjust that one there. I don't want to do all this work on FTM, and then they come and they reverse us and they round trip us. So I've just raised my stop there on Phantom. My current Phantom stop is 0.5953. If that is of interest to anybody, 0.5953. That is how I'm going to play Phantom now on any pullbacks. And right, the first chart I wanted to give you, now I've got a smaller time frame Phantom chart for you as well. And right now, I wanted to highlight we are now sitting at the 200-day moving average. So this was a marker for us. The last week or two, we were saying if Phantom pushes up to this 200-day MA, that has got to be, for guys that were trading the lows at 0.5, that has got to be your first area of interest here. That's got to be your TP zone. That's got to be your reaction zone where you're de-risking, you're taking profits, those type of things. And then I said the bears, if you are looking for action, the bears, the 200-day MA, and this big weekly level here on Phantom could be a zone of interest for you. So if there was a fake breakout here on FTM, this is your chance for the bears, okay? And you can see what I've done here. I've de-risked my trade, so this thing is in profit. I've now de-risked my stop. Let's see if that was a false breakout on Phantom. Let's see how that's going to play out. But right now on the 2-day chart, you can see what's going on. We've got 200-day MA resistance at the moment. What is the bullish play on this current chart? Well, number one, we really need to break this 200-day MA. We got to get through this now today, nice and clean, and then that retest buy is going to be the play for us. That is going to be a real banger move there. So that Phantom position you see that I'm in now, if we push higher and we blow this 200-day MA, that next retest is going to be for adding size onto that position and then really creating something that could be fun. So let's see if Phantom's going to blow that 200-day MA. Things could get very exciting. If not, we are currently in bear country. So bears, if you want to, here's an opportunity for you. Your stop will be above that high that you can see was just printed there on that chart that I've shown you on Prime. And your support marker for your target is going to be 0.5. Okay, so there is a potential trade here with about a roughly 2.8% stop from current positions here. So if you want to short this FDM 200-day MA, horizontals in play, my strategy here is any pullbacks I'd like to break the 200-day, but any pullbacks here potentially for buying on Phantom. But again, the bears could be in control. The bears could take over here and send this thing lower. So that's your option. And right now you can see here's Phantom on the 1 hour that I've prepped for you guys. And it depends how you want to look at it. So number one, we've got a potential trend break here at the 200-day MA. Is this our ticket into that new range? Is this our ticket into this new region that we are looking for a bigger move? So this is the time you ask yourself that question. And this is your big resistance zone. So nice and clean here where we are, 0.62. This is resistance now for Phantom. And if we remain bullish, we're looking for a bullish bounce on Phantom. You can see today they've already given us the 382 bounce. They gave it to us twice before they sent that one higher. So I would say big support here for Phantom. What you want to be watching is 0.59. Okay, this is your big support, 0.59. You want to be watching this guy for any pullback. So if we do drift a little bit lower, we're looking for a potential move off this 0.59 region. And right now you can see that reaction at the 200-day MA. Things are looking very interesting here. Let's see if Phantom can recover and push through now. And no doubt, this 200-day MA was support for a long time. And now it makes perfect sense that it's going to be a little bit of a fight in this region. But remember, if you are bullish, you're looking for bullish pullbacks, 382s, 618s from these lows. If you are bearish, this is where you're shorting. This is your opportunity right now for the bears. Your stop can be above this candle high. And let's just highlight this candle high for you guys. We're going to bang it at the top here. So your stop needs to be above 0.629. If you can stick it above 0.629, then you are limited with your risk there, and probably around 2.5% for the bears. This is for the bears, not for the bulls. Not for the bulls today. Eden says, suckers rally. Look, we got to watch that retest. Eden, we have to get that retest. Now, we know there's tons of late longs here, and it's easy pickings if they want to just send it lower. So the key for us, Eden, is to watch that 59,850. That's the big one that we are paying attention to. Okay, the next one was Solana. This was a nice little long from earlier today. And,
no. The next thing we need to address is the likes, buddy. Let's check on the likes.
Guys, look at this man. Where's your goggles, right? You had your goggles on just now.
I had to take them down for a sec. Let's smash the likes. No, not without the likes. Not without the likes.
Guys, hit the likes, hit the subscribe. You know what to do here. Okay, Solana, nice little trade of Sol here earlier today. And why was this interesting? Well, number one, we blew that 200-day MA. So just like I've shown you on Phantom, okay, we're lagging a little bit on Phantom behind that 200-day MA. What has happened with Sol? We've come and we've blown the 200-day moving average. So the real test now for Solana traders, you haven't missed this move. The real test is going to be, is Sol going to hold this bullish retest? Is it going to hold the 200-day MA? So this is what you can do. You can pull a fib from the lows to this high. You can see we're rejecting now a little bit. And all you want to do is mark where you have confluence. And right now you can see I've got the 200-day MA, I've got a 382 fib, and I've got horizontals here for you at 133. So what would it look like if you want to trade Solana? There could be a trade coming here for you. Dip into 133, and that could be your bullish retest move. And then a little bit lower down, watch the 618. 128, 129 for Solana. That is a second option here for you. 128 to 129. That could be a potential play that you can watch on Sol. So keep your eyes on that one. And look, I love the fact that we've blown the 200-day. Interesting that Phantom is lagging that 200-day. Could there be a nice big move coming on Phantom? So let's see how that is going to play out. But things are definitely looking a little bit better than they were yesterday, at least. And if we're going to remain bullish, we're looking for bullish pullbacks. Pullbacks are part of the game. We just need to understand, if our bias is bullish, let's look for those bullish pullbacks and get into them. Okay, here's the current CoinCatch situation. So this is me trading CoinCatch. I longed Sol earlier today, and no, this was Sol from the other day, and we're still running. And I jumped into a whiff trade. We had to jump into some memery, and I love a bit of a meme trade. You might have noticed. And there goes some whiff. And right now it's a $10,000 whiff position. We got Sol at $15,000. And let's see if whiff holds. It was a simple little breakout trade here for whiff. You can see the current situation here. We pushed through that region. And I'm just going to put my stop underneath that breakout candle. So you can see where I've highlighted my stop there on whiff. I'm just drawing a circle around it here under that breakout candle for me. So if they're going to send us back and round trip that breakout. I don't want to find out any more details. I'm happy they can just come and close me right there under that breakout candle. So let's see. That is my current game plan on WIF. And what is my entry? Yeah, my entry is 1.94. So we're going to see how that is going to play out. But again, market recovery, Sol maybe bouncing a little bit. You want to look at Sol memes, Bonk, WIF, Myro, a couple of other big players there on Solana. Could be some fun for you guys. Okay, another one. What is happening with Injective? And why is Fetch involved in the situation? So ASI, you know what's happening with ASI. That's the merger between Fetch, Ocean, AGIX. They are forming one business or one token, and it's going to be called ASI. Now, Injective has announced something today that something is brewing between Fetch and Injective. So that's effectively Injective and ASI. So something is happening there. And we did see a couple of bullish things floating out on Twitter at the moment. And this Professor Astronis, and he says, you will never see Injective below 20 again. Well, I mean, the bears will decide that. But I do like his clean chart. It does look very nice. And I thought, let's take another look at where we are with Injective. And let's give you guys some bull source on Injective, because I've got the most dreamy retest level here for you guys. And really, if this thing's going to stay bullish, you can see right now on this chart what this thing needs to hold. I mean, this is absolute perfection here. Look at this. So for me, 21.5 has to be your next level of interest for Injective. Look at this. Perfect support previously. We fought under this as resistance. Look at that little fake out they gave us, and they tricked us there last time. Now we've broken through. If we do get a pullback in the market here, 21.5, if you are bullish on Injective, and you like what's happening with Injective, you like what's going on with Fetch and those type of things, I think 21.5 looks like an incredibly hot zone here for Injective traders. So that is all you need to watch. That's all you need to know right now. 21.5, that's your banger support zone. If that doesn't hold, we know the market is dirty, the market is dark, and things are getting really ugly out there. So we've had a nice bullish bounce here for 24 hours. Let's see. It's all about the retest now. And if we get those retests, make sure you buy on good zones. Because remember, the tighter your entries and the greedier you are with your entries, the lower your stop loss risk is. And especially for the leverage traders, if you're jumping in too early or you're not very greedy with your entries, remember, if you're sitting on 10x, you're sitting on 20x, and suddenly this thing moves 3 or 4% onto a good level, but you've bought it too high, you're going to be feeling some heat there. And quite often then, people end up cutting their positions, and then it bounces on great support just a little bit lower down, and next thing starts firing. So Injective traders, 21.5, that's got to be your main bull zone that you're watching. Watch that area closely, and let this thing drift lower. If it is going to start flying without you, okay, and you want to trade high leverage, you need to just sit back. You need to wait. You need to let this thing consolidate and just give us something to work with. So 21.5, that has got to be the main number. That's the safety number that you guys can play with. Let's see. Joy King should be booking profit in Injective. Nothing wrong with taking some profits. It depends where you guys got your entries. But remember, the stuff is here. It's clear. If we're going to get a retest, these alts are going to retest. The next question is, are they going to hold their bullish retest zones? If you believe they are, then you know what to do. You know these levels, and you know where you can start buying these things. Okay, let's see what else we got. Keto's dad says Brett does not have breaks. Price discovery soon. Look, Brett's a banger, and I haven't traded Brett much, to be honest. And yeah, definitely looking interesting. And look, Injective looking good. Here's Fetch. Okay, so this is interesting as well. Fetch has just broken the 200-day moving average. So you can see this nice clean chart. This is Fetch on the daily. Is this a sign? Are we going to get a bigger push here, or is this another fake out through the 200-day? But very interesting to note, you know, Sol's broken the 200-day MA. We've seen a lot of tokens break the 200-day MA. Fetch is now trying to break and hold the current 200-day MA, and you can see your support marker here is the 200-day MA. Look at how it's reacting off this at the moment. Look at that. It's absolute perfection how it's sitting on this 200-day MA. So you've got a support marker right here, 1.61. Okay, that is your support zone that you want to watch. If you are bearish, you are now in your reaction zone. You are now in your rejection zone for Fetch. So you can watch this area closely as well. And if you are a bear and Bitcoin is going lower, that is where Fetch is going. It's got to be 1.2. Somewhere in that region is got to be your potential target. Alternatively, Fetch, I want to see a nice big push here on the 200-day MA. I am in a Fetch scalp here, just in case we get some bullish moves. I'm going to show you that situation now. And right now, if we do hold this region, you can see we're dancing around this area here. If we do fiddle around here and then start firing, well, then we got a nice big move coming on Fetch for us. And that's probably going to take us to these horizontals. Nice little juicy zone here, 1.95. So there could be something happening here with Fetch. Let's keep our eyes on that one. And while we're talking some AI things, this is the render situation. So I've knocked up a render plan for you guys, and looking for a little bit of render action in the near term. So right now I've highlighted a couple of retest zones for render traders, and I've given you two options. So basically, number one, if you want to be long on render, number one, what can you do? You can wait for this break. You can wait for this thing to pop trend. This is render on the 1 hour. Or alternatively, you're looking for a move slightly lower down. You're looking for a move down to the 200-day moving average. You're looking for a move down to the 382 fib, round about 7.4. That is where the action is going to be for some potential long. So looking at 7.4, 7.53, these are both very bullish retest zones here on render on the 1 hour. And that is where we could no doubt get some spicy entries there for you guys. And here's another one, RUNE. And RUNE was looking very good earlier today on that Bitcoin strength. So now it's going to be all about Bitcoin holding its current breakout. So let's see what's happening. We've seen a nice trend break here on RUNE on the 1 hour, and this was a trade that we took earlier in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So now this thing is starting to fire here. But key supports here, we need to watch our major support. So what do I like about RUNE at the moment? So number one, it's printed a new high, so that is a great start for us. Okay, so we've printed a new high here on RUNE, and now all we're looking for is some kind of bullish retest. So we're just going to raise our fib a little bit higher here, and we're going to push that one right up there. I'm just going to make that little box. So now, new support that you're watching for RUNE. So if you want to trade RUNE, any move down into this region could be a nice little bullish retest for you guys. Anything down into the zone could be very interesting. Key support here for you guys has got to be 4.07. Watch 4.07. That is a hot zone there for RUNE traders. And nice that we've got a new high so far. So that is looking decent. And then lower down, I've highlighted your 618 for you as well. And that is 4.01. So 4.01, another big support level. So both of these areas are nice retest zone. Both of these are areas where you don't need to get bearish. Okay, if we drip down into these zones and you saying, okay, BTC is doing a little retest here. Where are my alts sitting? What is dominance doing? Is RUNE on a 382? Is RUNE on a 618? If it's sitting on one of these areas, that's going to be a trigger for potential short-term little long. And it's nothing big. We're not looking for massive moves here on RUNE. And if anything, we're going to push to that 618. That's about a 16% move. But TP1, for example, was only about a 3.5% move. That was to push things up and raise our stops. And then TP2 was about 6% move, and so on. But the big 618 for me on RUNE is about a 15%. That is what you're watching. So as long as BTC is going to remain relatively bullish, I'm looking for RUNE to hold any one of these, the 382 or the 618. And those numbers, just to confirm one more time, 4.08 and 4.01. Both of those are interesting areas for me. And here you go. Here's my current situation on WeX. And you can see I'm trading RUNE as well. I'm long RUNE, and I've got a Fetch long going on at the moment, and I've got a head short on render. Now, this is just in case the wheels start coming off. So let's go back to this render chart here quickly. And this is are the wheels going to come off play? Okay, so what we've done here is I've just taken a head short on render and looking for a potential move lower down. Now we'll reassess. If we do get a vicious pullback on BTC, we could get a lot deeper here. But right now you can see render is sitting at a resistance zone. And if you want to play the game, you are just shorting resistance areas. You are shorting big areas or reaction zones. You can see we've got some horizontals here. So that is why I'm saying if you want to be bullish, we've got to wait for that break of trend and the retest, or we're just waiting for it to push lower down. So tons of action here, tons of things going on. And if you want to trade on, if you want to trade on WeX, you know what to do. There's a link in the description. There's tons of action on all of these exchanges. They all got great incentives for you guys to join them. And it's basically pick your favorites. These all KYC friendly. They're all giving you great incentives and great deals. We've got CoinCatch there as well. So it's as simple as going to the link in the description of the show here. And let me just show you exactly what this looks like. There you go. There's the whole shopping list. It's all there. The bait situation is there. You got ZoomX, Prime XBT, CoinCatch, and there's even Twitter links for us. It's all happening. And find that there at the back. And that is that. That is that. Guys, okay, you know the drill. You know the plan. Retest levels, BTC, that's the boss. Okay, that's the big one that you are watching.
Drop your coins in the comments, guys. Drop the coins in the comments after the show.
Thank you. Uncle Ray will be looking. Okay, so if you give me your coins, drop your coins in the comments, okay? Then Ray can prepare a few coins for me. Then we can start looking at your coins on the show tomorrow. We get a ton of requests while we are live, and then sometimes we don't have time to look through them. So if you give me your coins in the comments, okay, then at least Ray can give me a list of 3 or 4 tokens that I can prep for you guys, and we can take some of your coins. So do me a favor, do that for me. And right, you know your Bitcoin levels. It's all about the retest. Just like Glenn Goldberg said, watch that retest there. 59,850. That's going to be a big one for us. If that holds, we're going up. Okay. If it doesn't hold, well, make sure you got tight stops on some of your altcoin trades. Guys, looking forward to tomorrow.